So what's up everyone, my name is Julian, so hi, and welcome to drawing this. Now I know it's no longer April, we have reached the month of May. Spring is continuing to thrive, the trees and flowers and all of the plants, the grasses are starting to grow again. I've been pretty quiet again. I was so busy on an artwork that I recently finished. I literally finished this artwork that you're gonna shortly see in this art video here, like a couple hours ago. Why, yes, I got on an Autism shirt, the shirt that I wore last year to celebrate Autism Awareness Month, obviously for the month of April. I also got on a bracelet that I started wearing last year, an autism bracelet. I don't know if you guys can really see all these puzzles and like the multiple colors, you know, red, yellow, green, and blue. This is like back-to-back that we drew a popular singer for this series. The next time I draw somebody to celebrate a period, it won't be a singer, it's going to be someone else that has a different profession. I will spoil it towards the end of this art video here. I want to talk about this singer I chose to draw for fun. You might be familiar with shows like The X Factor, American Idol, America's Got Talent, The Voice, also Britain's Got Talent. Roughly 16 years ago, on this one episode of Britain's Got Talent, which is obviously the UK version of America's Got Talent, there was this singer from Scotland, and this is actually my first time drawing somebody that is from a land that's above England and that is part of the UK. FYI, I've actually drawn a couple people from the UK before. Under my Jules Nerdy character. Those guys are from England and not Scotland or Wales or Northern Ireland. But yeah, it was really fascinating drawing this Scottish singer, and she made a name for herself. And it's really crazy that she was born on April Fool's Day. It makes sense for me to draw her for Autism Awareness Month, and she is over a year younger than my grandmother. And she continues to be a really inspirational singer, especially for her homeland of the UK, specifically Scotland. Her name is Susan Boyle. I hope I said her last name correctly. I'm not good with names. And she seems pretty sweet. According to multiple sources online, she is one of those autistic celebrities. There are some pretty interesting celebrities I could possibly draw in the future that I haven't drawn before for Autism Awareness Month. We actually drew Dan Aykroyd last year for the period. It was a really fun time. I was listening to some radio music as I was working on the project. I really like the concept of drawing out the puzzle pieces, and some of the puzzle pieces aren't connected to each other. All of the puzzle pieces aren't connected. It wasn't an easy thing to do. Really different from how I put in the style of many artworks that I would do for fun. But for this artwork of Susan Boyle, it is moderately different from what I did last year. I decided to draw out the puzzle pieces and then make them black to seem like the puzzle pieces are completely missing, like they're nowhere to be found. And obviously the puzzle pieces are a symbol of that period. I wanted it to be clear enough for you guys and for myself to know that this person has this disability, and the colors I have decided to add. Let's just go ahead and get to the artwork. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to the artwork of Susan Boyle. I haven't actually listened to any of Susan Boyle's songs before. I can't recall the last time I have actually listened to any of her songs. I don't think I have in my entire life. Despite me, I don't watch Britain's Got Talent, and that could be the reason why I haven't actually listened to any of Boyle's songs in the past. Yeah, I used to be addicted to watching TV programs and movies, but nowadays I have changed the way I do something for a living, playing video games on weekends, working on projects like animation projects, art projects, even making content for you people, for my family, and most importantly for myself. All of that stuff kept me away from watching TV. I still watch TV, but very rarely from other people's TVs, especially to those that live with me. Obviously, my family members, I don't know too much about Miss Boyle. I know she's from the UK. I have did a bit of research recently. I know she's in her 60s. She has some social media pages, like she has a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and she seems to be a sweetheart. I don't know if she really talks very much. She seems pretty quiet, to be honest, and I don't know, like, any of the people. I don't know too many people that she collaborated with, especially music-wise, or like anything else outside of music, but I feel like music is number one for her. Like, she would collaborate. I don't know if she actually did collaborate with other musicians and not just herself, literally. And I think she revealed that she thought she had a learning disability back then, but she was misdiagnosed and is diagnosed with ASD, which stands for Autism Spectrum Disorder, or simply just called autism. I think the form of autism I got is Asperger's, or Asperger syndrome, which means you would have a really difficult time interacting or socializing in front of other people and animals. Well, you can't really. It's kind of weird for us to socialize in front of animals because my voice is becoming weak, by the way. Because animals literally can't talk like humans. Some of the animals that are really close to acting like humans are obviously chimpanzees, because, well, they're primates and we're primates. You know how some people would think that I keep mixing up my words here. Parrots don't talk exactly like humans. They mimic or imitate whatever the humans say. But that's technically talking still. Parrots technically talk. I hope I don't sound dumb. I feel like I am. I mean, I'm not a zookeeper or anything. I'm not an animal expert. I have actually watched America's Got Talent before, American Idol, The X Factor. I don't think I have seen The Voice. I am familiar with those reality talent shows. And I'm familiar with hosts like Nick Cannon, Terry Crews, some of the judges I'm familiar with, Randy Jackson, Howie Mandel, even Paula Abdul, and obviously the infamous guy from the UK, Simon Cowell. And I think both Simon Cowell and Susan Boyle, they know each other really, really well. Simon's from England, and obviously Susan's from Scotland. And some of the chemistry and the history between them will continue on. I know it all started back in 2009. That's going to continue. It's still continuing to this day, until one of them leaves the world, until we see a reunion. And there might be a very similar situation between a different English person and a different Scottish person. Who knows? I don't know. But I think the relationship between England and Scotland, it's kind of how to really... I really don't want to talk about it because I'm not from the UK. I don't live in the UK. Let's just move on to a different topic. The reason why I decided to use a couple strips of poster board is because it prevents me from getting tons of ink or that fluid, the stickiness so I wouldn't like stain my hand. I hope that doesn't really sound confusing to you people. It prevents me from getting ink on myself on the side of my hand that I use to work on these artworks whenever I draw things and whenever I draw out the characters or write words and numbers and all that stuff. And some people would actually make fun of left-handed people, making memes and jokes on it. Whenever you write for a long period of time, you would get ink on yourself. I have a huge history on that. The history is just insane. That has happened to me millions of times whenever I write something out on a notebook, paper, or whenever I do landscape or cityscape drawings. In fact, it's not just the ink that you would get on you, but also the graphite stains that you would create for the side of your hand whenever you use pencils. Yeah, that has happened to me as well, my experience on using pencils as a left-handed person. And here is the side-by-side comparison between the drawing of Susan Boyle and the reference shot that I used to draw this sweet white lady who's autistic and that sings like an angel like Taylor Swift. We know Susan Boyle is not as popular as Taylor Swift. Susan Boyle is a smaller name compared to Taylor Swift, but we're mostly gonna focus on Susan Boyle. I love how I did her hair. I feel like I'm really improving on human hair, but I still got a long way if I want to be one of the kings of drawing portraits and, drawing animals and stuff like that, drawing cities and landscapes and all that stuff. You get the idea, guys. Yeah, you get the subjects of art. And the type of art that I do here. So yeah, I love how colorful the artwork is. These are the colors of Autism Awareness Month: red, yellow, green, and blue. I love how I did the puzzle pieces to make it seem like the puzzle pieces are nowhere to be found. Instead, we got like the blackness, the empty like space or void. I don't know how to really specify that. But the only criticism I got is that the artwork is too simple, and it lacks enough challenge to compare to what I did last year when I drew Dan Aykroyd for Autism Awareness Month. I prefer the Dan Aykroyd artwork over the Susan Boyle artwork. The Dan Aykroyd drawing I did is a little more of a challenge, and I had enjoyed that challenge. But overall, both drawings, the Dan Aykroyd and Susan Boyle artworks, they're really well made. So I'm going to give the Susan Boyle artwork a 7 out of 10. I also love how I did her face. Her eyes, her eyebrows, and her nose, and enough vibrant colors, but also I feel like I should have added a bit more neutral colors, but we need mostly the vibrant colors, a combination of primary and secondary colors to really like symbolize the autistic community, and people are trying to bring in the brightness and enough energy to other people, and so those people could really understand the autistic community. I'm gonna have Jules Nerdy draw out a Squid Game character for Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and I'm gonna be the one to draw a couple people that ties with LGBTQ community for Pride Month. So it's gonna be one gay male celebrity, and one lesbian celebrity. So that is going to be the end of this art video here. Stay tuned for more content, guys, and I hope this art video was quite enjoyable to watch.